viewers, September 19, 2023. That was the day when Canada's former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau stood in Parliament and levelled serious charges, unproven allegations of Indian involvement in the killing of Khalistani terrorist Hardeep Singh Nijjar. 913 days later, Canada is not only forced to backtrack, but is also forced to clean up the mess created by Trudeau. Back then, at the center of the storm was India's former High Commissioner to Canada, Sanjay Verma. He was publicly named, politically targeted, and eventually recalled. And tonight, as the truth emerges and India stands vindicated, Sanjay Verma joins me exclusively on the News Hour. Thank you very much for joining me, Sanjay Verma. Today, when you hear the statement made by the police chief in Canada, do you feel vindicated? Was this what India has been saying all along? A political plot for the vote bank, dirty politics of Justin Trudeau, mess that is now being cleaned up?
Nijjar, when it was put on India, even at that time, we had very clearly said that India is never there to interfere in the domestic affairs of any country. At that time, they did not take us seriously. Now, after so many days, they have come to a conclusion that there is no transnational repression from India in Canada. There are no transnational crimes in Canada from India. And when I say India, I mean the government of India. But now let's look at what happened after September. You just mentioned September 2023. In October 2024, you have the same RCMP commissioner coming for a press conference and saying that Government of India agents and proxies are involved and they have credible evidence. Now, no evidence was shared, and I had been saying the same thing right from the beginning. At the moment, I don't hold government's brief, so I'm not talking on their behalf. I'm just talking as an expert who has faced the problems there. And yes, India has been vindicated. Now, what about the reputational harm to all the 6 diplomats of India who had to come back? What about their emotional trauma, which they suffered all through this time? So vindication is one thing, but I would think that apologies would also be in order.
Absolutely. Canada needs to apologize. And the question that I want to ask you now, do you think there is a change of heart or merely the lack of evidence? Why do you think the Canadians have changed their mind?
Let me slightly turn it around and say that if there was credible evidence, as the Commissioner RCMP had said at that point of time, would they actually wait for us before going to the court of law in Canada? After all, this alleged crime was committed in Canada. So they will certainly move to the court of law in order to get the judicial decision. Would they really wait if they had the evidence? And that is a question I had been asking right from the time we were declared as persons of interest to start with, and later on as persona non grata. So therefore, they'll have to do a soul searching. What was there that made them say what they said at that particular point of time? Secondly, the evidence, and they kept saying India doesn't collaborate, India doesn't cooperate. We have to cooperate on the basis of legally admissible evidence or legally admissible details of the case that they are seeking us. There are already channels available, platforms available for the 2 investigating agencies to talk to each other. That could have been used, but then there is a minimum threshold which needs to be observed in order to move forward on such cooperation and collaboration.
So let me ask you, if there was no evidence that was ever produced, do you think the charges were concocted? Today, can you say that openly?
So charges, if I look at technical charges, Canada has not been able to level any charges in the court of law against any Indian official or diplomat. or the government of India as a whole. So I will take it as if they did not have evidence which can be admissible in the court of law, even in Canada. Forget about other countries. So therefore, it was not very well considered when they did what they did. But at least they are reaching somewhere which will have India vindicated. But again, I'll go back to the same point. My colleagues had their children studying in the schools and universities there. They had to be withdrawn. They came back. So the kind of hardships that the family has suffered, who will look after them?
Absolutely. But all along, a statement was made by Justin Trudeau, the former Prime Minister, in the Parliament, in the Canadian Parliament. Do you think he was standing there and lying?
I think he was ill-advised if he acted on the basis of advice. If he acted on the basis of the political equations at that particular point of time, he was not brave enough to counter them. And if he was standing for himself, then I would say he needed to do a little bit more introspection before he got up in the Parliament.
Well, let me also ask, Mark Carney, the current Prime Minister, has indicated much earlier that his stance towards India would be different, and he has now proved it. His visit to India earlier this month, do you think it is diplomacy at work, or do you think it was just the fact that Justin Trudeau was driving an agenda against India because of his own vote bank specific compulsions?
See, what I would say is that, yes, there was a killing in Canada of a Canadian citizen on the Canadian soil, but that is something with the Canadian law enforcement agency, investigating agencies in the court of law will have to take care of. So there, India does not figure at all as a government, as a system. I believe that the current Prime Minister has been able to separate these two buckets very carefully. One bucket where there is a court case going on against 4 Indians who are seen as conspirators in the murder of that particular Sikh terrorist, Khalistani terrorist. So that is in one bucket. Process is on. Judicial process will reach a conclusion, and we'll have to wait till then. But he has not held other relationships hostage to this concocted allegation.
Well, finally you come and use the word concocted allegations, and clearly they apply to Justin Trudeau as much as they do to the police chief who made earlier statements. I just want to ask you, Sanjay Verma, have you gotten over the threat to your own life, the bodily harm? We spoke when you returned from Canada, and at that time you were shaken, especially in the manner in which you were attacked. Personal safety was at stake. Have you gotten over that? Does it still haunt you, bother you?
I would say I feel much safer back home. I feel much safer back home. But in the current globalized scenario of terrorism, things may travel quickly and fast from one geography to the other. So one has to be watchful. One has to be careful of and aware of his location and actions.
Well, we wish you all the safety, and our prayers for your well-being, your family's well-being, always with you, Sanjay Verma. If you were to shed off your diplomatic training just for 30 seconds and had to say something to Justin Trudeau today, what would you say?
I would say that he has completely misconstrued such a great relationship which could have been there. He has set the entire conversation between 2 large democracies aside, and he has made a folly of himself.
And do you think there is more at stake between India and Canada? The uranium purchases, the oil and other MOUs and deals that we've signed, is it a result of that we are seeing, or is it clearly good sense prevailing?
No, it is not a result of anything in the past. In fact, India stands on itself, and I'm sure Canada stands by itself as well. So these are the convergences which existed even then. But unfortunately, the administration in Canada at that point of time, they could not take the advantage. They could not reap the benefits of these convergences. And there is a sensible administrator, there is a sensible prime minister who is ready to reap the benefits of these convergences, and that's what he is doing. But these still are tip of the iceberg. There is much more which India and Canada can do together, not in their own geographies only, but also in third countries.
Well, we hope the apology comes sooner than later for your sake, Sanjay Verma, as much for the sake of India. And we do hope things improve and the nightmare of the Justin Trudeau regime, well, is a matter of the past. We leave it at that. Thank you very much for joining me. And we wish you well. We wish you safety. We wish you a lot of care that you need at this point in time. Thank you very much, Sanjay Verma, for joining me on the News Hour tonight.